Good morning. My name is Tony Johnson with Ventures Equipment. We are doing a startup process of material through this mixing pump and the clean out of this mixing pump by SureMix. We first have to plug in our 220 3-phase 30 amp plug into the back of this SureMix mixing pump. You plug it all the way in. Once you have your plug plugged in, then you will go and make sure you have a good water source, and you will plug it into this water pump that's on the bottom of this machine. You plug it in right here. You at least want 40 psi of water pressure to control this water pump at all times. Once it's tight, then you can proceed and go to your next, turning the machine on to make sure you have the good water flow and the good pressure by connecting it and turning this machine on. Now, after we have good power supply and good water supply, we will discuss the modules and the switches to this machine. You have your isolator switch right here. You have your fault, reverse, and polarity switch right up above that. Then you have your start stop button. And then we have our mix automatic that runs both the pump and the mixer, and your clean out switch right there. You also have your speed dial that controls the pump alone. Then you have your water pump that's manual, off, and then automatic. You use this control to control it when it's in the automatic mode, and it controls the machine and the pump only when it's in automatic. You will use this to plug in to your dummy switch, and that's when you're able to use this control. Then you have your water flow dial that's only controlled by this. You can use this per the manufacturer's guidelines to set your flow meter to start pumping this machine. Now that we've checked to make sure we have good power, good water, and we've discussed our controls for this machine, now we have to get prepared for our pressure test. We have to first turn this machine on to make sure it's in the proper polarity. If it's not in the proper polarity, we have a button that you can push on the side of this isolator switch. You will push it all the way through to the other side to correct the polarity. So we will turn this machine on. You will see that the red light is illuminated. That means that this machine is not in the correct polarity. So we will turn it back off. There's a button on the left side of this isolator switch. We will push it all the way through. Now that it's pushed all the way through to the other side, we can now turn it on, and now you see that switch is now in the right polarity and the red light is off. Now that we have a good power source and our good water supply, we're going to do our pressure test on the rotor and stator for this pump. We will go here and we will put it in cleaning mode. Then we will go up to the top and turn on the water pump. Once the water pump is on, we will turn on the water flow to test to make sure water is coming out. Then we will put it into the pump, tighten it, fill up the chamber with water. Once the chamber is filled, then we will put on our inline tester to test the rotor and stator. But before that, I want to make sure my speed dial is set at least 50%. Once it's set at 50%, we'll put the inline on, and then we will test this rotor and stator. Now that the inline is in its proper position, I'm going to start the machine. It's at approximately 300 psi, so that's good to go. Now that I've turned it off, now we know the rotor stator is in its proper position and ready to pump material. pressure test on this rotor and stator and this pump. If you need to increase or decrease, you always use a 3/4 inch wrench on both sides of this rotor stator. You can loosen it or you can tighten it to get the desired flow that you need. We are now in the process of priming our hose to get it ready to pump material. We have to put this fitting on the outside of the pump. Then you hook this hose up to this. Get your ball wetted. Put it inside the hose to clean out this hose to make sure you don't have anything left inside of it. Close it back. Now I'll go and turn the water pump on, so our foam ball will get moved through and clean out the excess material that may be left in the hose from before. Now we will walk out the excess water that is left in the hose. We can now connect this into the pump side. We are now about to set our water ratio per bag of material. Manufacturer's guideline says it's 4.5 quarts per bag. This is an 80 bag an hour configuration. Now to calculate that, you would have to do 4.5 times 80 divided by 60 divided by 4, and that will give you approximately 1.5 gallons per minute. So you go down here, unhook this hose, and then we will turn the water pump on. And the way you set your gauge, you have to now get your water flowing, and then you set it with this knob to approximately where you need to set it. So it's at 1.5, 1.6 is where the gallons per minute should be. So now we're ready to start cracking bags, but you have to first move this hose from the pump chamber up into the mixing chamber. This is where your dry material will be moved into this mixing chamber, then pushed down into the pump, and then the pump would force it out through the hose. We are now prepared and ready to start pumping material through this mixing pump. You turn your water pump on, hit the green button, Now that we're done pumping this material, we will shut the machine on and proceed with the clean out process. Turn the pump off. And now we're ready to clean that hose out. Now we're in the process of cleaning out the pump chamber. Remove this hose, place it into this pump chamber. Open up the pump chamber. Remove the level sensor. Remove the pump shaft. Replace it with the clean out shaft. Now we will turn this to cleaning. Turn on your water pump. Push start. Turn off the machine. Turn off the water pump. Now your hose is clean. Now we have to go and open up the pump chamber. Remove out the clean out shaft. Put the shaft back in it. Level sensor back in place. Now we can disconnect the hose. We're going to disconnect our hose so we can run our foam balls through it to clean out any excess material that's left inside the hose. Disconnect our water hose. Get our foam ball. Put it inside your hose. Now, go turn your water pump back on. Open up the water valve. You want to do this 2 or 3 times until you have clean water coming out of your hose. Now that we've cleaned out our pump hose, you can disconnect it. You walk all the water out your hose. Hook up your spray hose again. We will open up our mixing chamber. And we will proceed to clean out the inside of our mix chamber. Turn all your water off. Make sure once you disconnect your water lines, you open up all your water valves on your pump system. Thanks for watching our demonstration video of the SureMix mixing pump. If you have any more questions or concerns, please give us a call at 817-636-5642. My name is Tony with Ventures Equipment. Thank you.